Hello. I actually have a question. You've said many times that, because people have asked, can you just, hit me with that worthy stick and throw me into the vortex? Let's just get this going. And then you said, well, that's really not why you're here. But then you came out with this wonderful CD that helps us get into the vortex. I was just wondering, did we just get to the point where we're ready for that, or?
Well, the work is still yours to do. In other words, all along, this is not so different from what we always do. In other words, we have a conversation with you, and we focus upon who you really are. And we hold steady to that knowing. And during the process, many of you find alignment with it and feel better. And then for a while, your world goes better. And so this meditation CD is an offering from inside the vortex of who you are, presented in a way that if you'll do the work, people are writing to Jerry and Esther saying, I just can't do it. I've just given up. I just can't get the breathing pattern down. Is it all right for me to just breathe the way I always breathe and listen to the words? And we say, of course, everything is all right. But the whole point of the process is to help you to do something that's different enough, that draws your focus in a new way, that causes you to leave resistant patterns behind, that allow your vibration to raise. And that has been our message, no matter what process we've offered from the beginning. But of course, you have to do the work. In other words, playing the CD is not enough. Some are saying, well, what if I go to sleep? Is it still the same if I go to sleep? And we say, it's a wonderful thing to be in the vortex while you drift off to sleep. But the work happens while you are awake. In other words, the most powerful application of this process is to listen with a determination to sync with the music, which in most cases means your resistance has to be set aside while you're focused upon that. And if you accomplish the setting aside of resistance while these words are playing and you are hearing the words, then two things are happening. You're aligning with the energy of that which is your source, of that which is your inner being, and you are uncovering any resistant patterns of thought. What could be better, you see? But in every case, you're doing the work. In other words, we're doing what we always do. We're holding steady the vibration of who you are, asking you to align with it, you see. We can't align you with it. We can't be louder. We can't vibrate stronger. We can't reach outside the vortex and strangle you into compliance.
I'm glad for that, actually.
We can only offer the vibration and ask you to feel for it and notice when you've found it and milk it longer, and notice when you haven't found it and release the specifics and go more general. In other words, it's just a vibrational tuning. That's really what it is.
Okay.
And when you think about it, we like the word tuning or training. When you think about it, CNN can train your vibration. An angry child can train your vibration. Memories of your childhood can train your vibration. Beautiful music can train your vibration. A movie can train your vibration. You can watch a movie about a runaway train. Well, you can watch a movie about anything. And if you stay focused long enough, it will temporarily train your vibration. You see. So we're just suggesting that you find something that feels good while the training is happening.
Okay. And I've been listening to the CD at least once a day, and I noticed recently that I think it's during the same part of at least the first meditation where I'm totally focused on the breathing and I'm doing the breathing, and the next thing I know, you say one thing and all of a sudden I'm back. I'm like, where did I just go, and what happened to I'm still breathing the same rhythm, but I wasn't there anymore. I stopped being focused on. So
well, if you are finding yourself in a state of unfocused attachment, what that means is you have synced, your vibration has synced with the vibration that is being offered, and your receiving the benefit of that vibration at many levels of your being. In other words, more than just conscious. If your mind is wandering and you realize that you just weren't paying attention and that you were thinking other things, that's an indication that you've found some pockets of resistance. Jerry and Esther both found after a few days, actually they were into their second or third week before they began becoming aware of it, but as they listened to the general meditation, they stayed with it and breathed with it easily through it. It was a state of slight detachment, but conscious awareness of what was being said. The same was true when they listened to the one on financial abundance. It was conscious awareness with enough detachment that it was a blissful experience. And when they would come out of either of those meditations, they would feel wonderful. When they listened to the meditation on physical well-being, the same thing was true. They stayed with the message, they stayed in sync with the breathing, and they came out of it feeling wonderful. But when they listened to the meditation on relationships, both of them discovered that things that they were hearing us say would trigger thoughts and off they'd go. So there were pockets of resistance that, in other words, they weren't staying with it, they were deviating from it because there is resistance. And so at first they would just follow the thread out, but that didn't accomplish anything. And then they began becoming very general. When they would find themselves distracted, they would just come back to the general subject of relationship, or the general subject of the relationship that they were off track on, until eventually they were able to, for the most part, stay in alignment or stay in that detached, focused state through the entire thing. Then they began using it in the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, at the end of the day. Esther said, I'm addicted to this because it always felt so good. And they began putting it on as they would drift off to sleep. And they had the most blissful sleep, long, delicious periods of complete detachment from anything other than alignment. And then as they continued listening to it every night, now Esther found herself listening to all four of them and thinking about what the words were. In other words, you're going to find yourself moving through many vibrational phases with this as you align to what it is and then find more pockets of resistance to refine, and then align with that and then find more pockets of resistance to refine, and then align with that and then find more pockets of resistance to find. Wonderful. In other words, it will continually train you into higher and higher frequencies. And so you can tell by the way you feel at the end of each meditation whether it has benefited you, and from our point of view it always will. Yeah. And then you can begin watching what's unfolding in your experience to realize that your life experience is changing as you are rendezvousing with more and more and more consequences and situations and experiences that you want. In other words, life just gets better and better, and the degree to which you can refine the improvement in your life is never ending.
Good stuff. Thank you. I have one other question. It's regarding two words: focus and surrender. They keep popping up all over the place. I certainly have heard you say focus, and I'm just wondering, is there some sort of correlation between those two words and the work that you're teaching us?
Well, we think you have found the juxtaposition of two perfect words, and here's why. When you focus upon the vibration that the source within you is currently emitting, you release all resistance and surrender completely to your well-being. So the word surrender is giving into. Now, you can surrender out of the vortex vibrations too. In other words, you can focus upon what you don't want and become such a vibrational match to it that you just give into it and experience that too. But when we use the word surrender, we mean it in the way we use the word allowing alignment with the whole of who you are. There are people who quibble with the definition of allowing. They say, well, allowing just means letting people get away with anything they want and just allowing them to do it. And we say, that's tolerating. That's putting up with the grief that you don't want, but you're certainly not in the state of allowing as you feel that agitated energy or emotion within you. Surrender, we always mean surrender into the fullness, surrender into your worthiness, surrender into your love, surrender into your well-being, surrender into your brilliance, surrender into your intelligence, surrender into your goodness, surrender into the fullness, surrender into your wholeness, surrender into who you really are, you see. And once you do that a little while, whether you use this meditation CD tool as the process for it or not, once you do that, you reach the place that you are so sensitized to the deliciousness and the power of that you're just not willing to put up with anything less.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.